Group of teachers work at a school, and they are in agreement. They hate AI. They despise it. They don't want anything to do with artificial intelligence. They don't want to teach it, so they don't. They don't put it in the curriculum. They don't teach their students anything about it. Could it be like the New York schools when ChatGPT first came out? Remember, the New York school system banned AI. So that's essentially what this group of faculty do at this institution. So student doesn't get exposed to anything with artificial intelligence, no idea about it other than, what they've read in the media and their limited interactions with it. So they start a new job where they have to interact with an AI bot and ask it questions for research and stuff like that. Asking a question, the AI bot gives it completely erroneous information. Maybe it says, well, I got high blood pressure. What should I do about it? And the AI bot hallucinates and says, hey, well, you should just drink gallons of salt. Something like that. And the person, because they haven't been educated with AI, doesn't know to question it, doesn't know about these things called hallucinations or how to iterate with an AI bot through a series of prompts. So the guy adds a bunch of salt to his diet. He doesn't, and drops dead from a stroke. Now, the ethical question is, was that school responsible in some way? Now, I'm going to argue, no, the school's not responsible. Because if you start holding schools responsible to anything that happens to people because they weren't educated about it at a school, then schools are going to be liable for everything under the sun. But there probably is a sliver of responsibility that's important to think about. And I do think that it is incumbent upon educators to start teaching students how to use AI. I'm a teacher. I'm using AI in my classroom. I'm having students use it and trying to think of ways to get them to use it, because I think, once again, this isn't a podcast about the ethics of AI. And in order to bring in a generation of people who know how to use AI, they also need to know the ethics of using AI and getting them to start thinking critically about the ethics of artificial intelligence. And there are a lot of different ethical issues educationally with artificial intelligence that, I think we've talked about in other episodes of the podcast, but I think it doesn't hurt to reiterate. One of my biggest ones is information literacy in AI. In many ways, AI is we like to call it a black box. You don't know where the information is coming from that it spits out. And really making sure that people are educated around where that data is coming from, how that data was collected. And that gets back to the transparency part of this ethical discussion. Making sure that the data is the data that the AI is using, it's transparent where it came from, how it was coded, how it was tagged. I'm calling this the information pipeline or supply chain. That's what I'm trying to call it. Yeah, the information supply chain, because different places are supplying information to these AI bots. Some could be social media, it could be the internet. Interestingly enough, a lot of academic article databases are protected from having their data scooped up. But other places aren't, especially some of the darker places of the internet, which also brings up there are people coding that data, that dark and nefarious data, and being paid pennies on the dollar to do that coding. And they're being exposed to some really horrendous stuff, so that you, the user, aren't exposed to it. There's a cost value, right? How much does it cost to run the server farms that are running these AI or generating these AI bots? That can be an expense, and that's an impact on the environment and sustainability. And then, we've discussed hallucinations and the accuracy of AI, or inaccuracy of AI at times, and how it can generate hallucinations. And really, in many ways, it's kind of like a bad Wikipedia, right? Because there's no editor. The editors are pretty distanced from it, because it's really a lot of the coders, or maybe there's some tuning going on to correct for errors and the information that it produces. But For the most part, I still stand by my description. AI is largely just a bad Wikipedia. So it's a good starting point for research to get some general information, maybe to start generating ideas, to check, maybe some grammar things. But for the most part, the feedback it gives on is very general, and you're going to have to double check its information if you're using it as a research tool. So really embracing the information literacy as an ethical value, like people in our society need to know how to use AI. So you shouldn't deny them the access to AI. You shouldn't ban it. It's there. It's here. It's not going anywhere. The only thing that's going to save us from AI is people knowing how to use it ethically. And so therefore, in my opinion, it becomes incumbent upon educators to do just that, to train students on how to use AI. And they'll need it in the workplace. They'll need it to be successful, and we need it as a society. We need people who are trained in how to use it and how to think about it. So